The Marimba River, which feeds into Lake Chavero, Harare's main water supply, is so filled with excrement that plant growth covers its surface.
Physicians for Human Rights has released its report on the right to health in Zimbabwe. It examines how the widely reported cholera epidemic is a symptom of the utter collapse of the healthcare system. We're the first human rights organization to enter Zimbabwe to report not only on the cholera crisis, but to provide the greater insight into the causes and remedies for this man-made humanitarian disaster. Our report details just what happens when a government ignores its people's right to health. Robert Mugabe's regime has abrogated the most basic state function in protecting its people's health. Mugabe's land seizures and failed monetary policies have caused hyperinflation, a basic scarcity of commodities like food, and a sharp rise in unemployment. It's created an economic environment in which not even a few can afford to eat. Mugabe's regime politicizes food aid. During the 2008 presidential election and many years before that even, his parties used donor food aid as a tool to manipulate the elections by providing food to communities that supported his ZANU-PF party while denying food to those who did not. As a result, Zimbabwe faces a tragic plight. The main river, for example, that feeds Harare's water supply is so contaminated with sewage that even plants are growing on its surface. Children are roaming the streets of Harare with plastic pails looking for clean water. And now, even wells have become contaminated, and all the while, Mugabe's government sits back and watches its people desperate and dehydrated, even drinking directly from the sewers themselves. Lacking emergency vehicles, people are being taken to whatever hospitals that are open by ox carts. Mugabe's policies have forced hospitals and clinics to shut down. Healthcare workers were recently beaten while they begged for clean water and food and life-saving drugs for their patients. Zimbabwe's healthcare system was once a model in all of southern Africa. It has now completely failed. Our team legally entered Zimbabwe, was transparent about its purpose for performing a health assessment. But the government apparently planned and then falsely reported our arrest at the end of the investigation. The Mugabe regime cares more about its power and its secrecy than about protecting its people and realizing the progressive right to health. Mugabe's regime is taking the country backwards. It's time for the international community to marshal a crisis response. Recently, Archbishop Desmond Tutu added his voice to the call for action on Zimbabwe. He stated the report today, released by Physicians for Human Rights, further documents that the people of Zimbabwe are being denied the most basic of life's necessities, access to health care, food, clean water, and even life itself. He continues that the world must take action against the Mugabe regime for these crimes against humanity. To learn more how you can take action, visit physiciansforhumanrights.org.